The United States is mourning the loss of Senator Ted Kennedy, a towering figure in the Democratic Party and patriarch of one of America's most fabled political families. Kennedy died Wednesday after a lengthy battle with brain cancer and just weeks after the death of his sister, Eunice Kennedy Shriver. Jackie Pascual has more.
And I pledge to you that I will be there next January on the floor of the United States Senate when we begin the great countdown.
We're going over here. Great.
One of America's beloved leaders, Senator Edward Kennedy, has passed away. He was 77. Kennedy died at his home Tuesday night in Massachusetts after a year of battling brain cancer. Dubbed the Lion of the Senate, Ted Kennedy had served the U.S. Senate for nearly half a century. He was known as a steadfast champion of the working class and an advocate of healthcare reforms and civil rights. Adam Clymer, author of Kennedy's biography, says the senator, despite being a Democrat, also reached out to other parties.
The Lion of the Senate, well, he perseveres. He has a perfect understanding that you don't have permanent enemies in the Senate.
Born in 1932, Ted came from a prominent American family. His brothers were the late President John F. Kennedy and the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy. JFK was assassinated in 1963, Robert in 1968. Ted also dealt with several tragedies that resulted in the deaths of some family members, including a 1999 plane accident that claimed the lives of his nephew, John F. Kennedy Jr., and his family.
Worried about Robert running for president, he feared assassination. When Robert ran, he threw himself into it. And then when Robert was shot and killed, he went into, I guess, a deep depression is the easiest way to describe it. It took him several months before he could get himself back to the Senate floor. He thought about retiring. And ultimately, he decided, to use his words, to pick up the fallen standard.
One of Ted Kennedy's last major acts was his endorsement of Barack Obama in the 2008 presidential elections. He was also last seen publicly during Obama's healthcare summit in March. Just 2 weeks ago, Obama awarded him with the 2009 Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor. U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Christy Kenny, remembers the late senator as a man who kept himself humble and compassionate.
I was a page in our Senate, and those are the young kids who run memo pads around and do errands. And one of the things I remember about him is that he was incredibly nice to all of us. And a lot of times important people don't have the time to be nice to a teenage girl whose job is to collect paper clips and make sure there are pencils on the desk. And yet he was one of those people who always treated all of us nicely, would remember our names, talk to us. And I think that speaks to his compassion as a person, that he was nice to people regardless of their rank in life.
Some analysts say the death of Ted Kennedy, which comes just weeks after that of his sister Eunice Kennedy Shriver, marks an end of an era. Obama describes Kennedy as the greatest senator of all time, and most Americans seem to agree. Jackie Pascual, ABS-CBN News.